Colin does this every week, and so I'm sitting in the seat. I'm going to try it out for a little bit of a ride. Let's get to the herd hierarchy.
Herd hierarchy.
Time is now. Let's go.
The top 10 NFL teams according to Colin.
All right, number 10. Let's start with the New England Patriots. The only reason they're on this list is because Bill Belichick's the coach and Tom Brady's the quarterback. If you've watched them, they haven't looked great. I understand it took a miracle in Miami to keep them from 11 wins. But if you watch them, not just against the Pittsburgh Steelers, but even against the Buffalo Bills, where are the playmakers? They just don't have them. Tom Brady looks older. I'm not going to say old. I'm not going to say dead. But if this is the Princess Bride, they are mostly dead, which does mean somewhat alive. They're 7-0 at home this season, which means they're below 500 on the road. And as of right now, they'll only have to go on the road once, and that would be to Kansas City, who hasn't won a home playoff game since 1993, which feels like the last time the Patriots weren't great. But this is not a great roster. It's old. Gronk is about 4 games away from calling it a career. And the vaunted running game is good, but it's not good enough to hide the fact that what they've done best, pick you apart with underneath routes, with option routes, and at times stretch the defense, they simply don't have. Patriots are number 10. Indianapolis Colts, they've won 8 out of 9, and the only reason I have them ranked so low is, well, the division they play in is not great, and some of the competition's not been great. What's stunning about Andrew Luck's potential MVP season is it has overshadowed the defense. Leads the league in scoring defense since week 7. That's right. Chris Ballard has put together a defense and an offensive line and a running game with Marlon Mack to support Andrew Luck. A really, really good team. And the most important down in the NFL is third down. They're number 1 in the league on third down. I might have the Colts as underrated. We'll see if they can go into Tennessee and get a win this weekend. They would skyrocket up the charts. Go with the Chicago Bears. They too have won 8 out of the last 9. Their defense is awesome, but I can't hide my lack of trust from Mitch Trubisky in the playoffs. I like the team. I like the defense. The back end of the defense is okay. The offensive play calling is creative. It's the same play calling, by the way, that had Kansas City get beat in the playoffs early last season with a superior quarterback to that of Mitchell Trubisky. If the best thing your young quarterback does is run, that doesn't make him a great quarterback. The Bears are only 8 because of quarterback. That's the only reason. I'll go with the Baltimore Ravens. Also don't love him at quarterback. I sat next to Colin. He said Lamar Jackson was great. I saw him throw 2 great balls and many Scud missiles. Okay, he missed on a bunch of throws. But they know who they are. Run the football, play to the defense. And that defense kicked the hell out of the LA Chargers. That's the first team that really destroyed the Chargers' offensive line. They are a problem because of their defense. And we know when we get to the playoffs, you throw fewer flags, defense becomes a bigger part of the game. And this Ravens defense might be good enough to carry John Harbaugh back to a Super Bowl, considering so many of the questions we have about other AFC teams. We'll stick with the Chiefs. They have lost 3 out of 5. They lost their running back. They're not the same team, but they got Pat Mahomes. And all their losses this season have been to good teams, right? Remember, we're just talking about the Ravens and how good they are. Last team to beat the Ravens, that would be the Chiefs. They do have good wins. They did beat the Chargers on the road. They lost in Game of the Year to the Rams by 3 points. Let's not act like the loss to Seattle this last weekend was a whooping. That was a great football game. This is a good team with a great young quarterback and a ton of talent. They just don't have a defense to be considered a top 5 team. Dallas Cowboys beat the Saints. Right? They've won 6 out of the last 7, and they're winning close games. They know who they are. Run the football. League's leading rusher, they're going to win their division and potentially win a game in the playoffs. Do I love Dak? No. But now that he has a better supporting cast, I like him a whole lot better. And the defense is a 21st century, 2018, 2019 defense with speed, can get after the passer, can cover running backs with their linebackers. I like the Cowboys because Jason Garrett knew who they were all along. He was conservative because he knew his offense wasn't explosive. It's still not incredibly explosive. It's efficient. The defense is what carries this team. Cowboys have also figured out kicking game, which has helped them. Seahawks. I don't know if they'll get to an NFC championship game, but I feel like any game they play in the playoffs is going to come down to Russell Wilson with the ball, scrambling around, spinning around, with a chance to throw the ball deep downfield. And more often than not, he seems to pull it off. What a turnaround. League's number one running offense, so he doesn't throw it a ton. Russell Wilson, since Week 10, 16 touchdowns, 1 interception. Since Week 10. Okay, winning time in football. Once you get to November and December, 16 touchdowns, 1 interception. He doesn't throw it a lot, but when he does, he throws it to the right colored jersey. Still going with the Chargers. I did say they got their ass kicked at home by the Ravens, but they did so without Austin Eckler, who's their kind of hybrid back, and they're going to get Hunter Henry back. And in spite of the fact they got badly outplayed by the Ravens on their own home field, Antonio Gates doesn't fumble. They still find a way to win that game. They figured out kicking game. They have a quarterback who's been in an AFC championship game. Melvin Gordon's going to get healthier, not injured again. They have, I think, the best weaponry on offense and on defense of any team remaining, with Bosa and Melvin Ingram. And, of course, you have the likely defensive rookie of the year in Derwin James. Chargers still a very dangerous team who've shown that they can win on the road. That's good because barring an upset of the Chiefs, they'll have to go on the road. They got the weaponry to do so. Going with the Rams. Don't love how Jared Goff's played. Hasn't played well. Okay? But they beat San Francisco. They get a first-round bye. Somebody beat up is going to have to come into their place. And I think they're going to figure out that, hey, we get the ball to Todd Gurley, we can win a lot of games. They'll do so in the playoffs. They still have Aaron Donald, who has 19.5 sacks this season. I don't love Goff and his lack of confidence, but I think that can be regained this week and in the week off. I like the idea that they've been to the playoffs and suffered a home defeat last year. I think that helps them this year. Got the Rams at number 2. Saints, best combination of defense and offense, plus they're going to play at home the rest of the season. Do I think they're great, that they're light years ahead of everybody else? No, even though the record would tell you. They got the number 1 rush defense in the NFL, number 1 defense in terms of points allowed per game, number 1 in takeaways as well. Like, this is a good defensive team. The story is not Drew Brees. The story is the other side of football. When it was just Drew Brees, they were 7-9. When you give them a defense, they get the best record in football. And that's my herd hierarchy.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.